I think at this stage of the evening, I think we have 40 minutes. Is correct, Mr. Francesco?
Somebody is waiting watch that, as my watch will be lost.
30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes for a discussion.
Yeah, I would say let's have this discussion and see. We have a bus leaving at 8, and I think some of us. Okay, we can wait 10 minutes also.
Right, so 7:30 we need to finish, something like that.
Half an hour.
Half an hour, okay. Actually, qui la presentazione dove sarà? Sorry. First of all, good evening everybody. Before opening up the discussion, I try to make yes, please. Yeah. To make a little of summary of the points raised today, and the discussion, of course, will be on the main topics of tonight. Why we need to invest in EcoShip. To discuss this one, first of all, we need to ask ourselves whether we need to invest or not. Forget about the EcoShip. We need to invest or not invest. If you look at the market and look at these charts, just forget about the details, just focus on the main topics. We see that the order book is still very big. This is the deliveries and order book of bulkers. And you see, we are not at the levels of 2008 and 9 and 10, but it's still very high. And a similar charts for basically every type of bulkers. And similar charts are also available for tankers. We see it's less than the bulkers, but still at very high level. So the order book is actually very, very big. And this is going to last for the next 2 years at least. Then we don't know what is going to happen after 2017, but the order book is still big. So basically, trying to summarize a little, the world fleet is going to grow by something like 5% aggregated growth for bulkers and approximately something less than 2% for tankers. This is in general terms, which doesn't give you a clear idea of what's happening locally, but it gives you a global idea of the market. And looking at the demand side, the seaboard trade rates are growing by 5% for dry bulk and something like a little more than 1% for tankers. So apparently, this scenario has definitely affected the charter rates for the last years for both type of vessels, which apparently they are going a little up in some type of vessels now, but we don't know if this is if it's a real sign of recovery or not. And the big questions we have now is that if the gap between supply and demand is going to be recovered in the next year or something like that. And this is one of the questions we would be very pleased to hear comments from the panelists and also from the audience. Demolition has been a great source of fleet control in the last years. But if you look at the data of this year, January, August 2014, we see that basically for bulkers, the number of vessels which have been sent to scrap is always much less than the vessels which have been delivered. So apparently, demolition rates are not sufficient to compensate the overtonnage. Again, is this trend going to be continues in the next year? Are there still a lot of ships to be sent to scrap, or are we sending ships which are 10, 15 years old being scrapped? Is a big question that some of the panelists again may have answered on this. And then we have to think about the investments, the investment in shipping. First of all, we need to ask ourselves if the EcoShip actually offer a significant return on investing capital. This is a question that I think many people have different opinion on that. Also because we have to consider that the financing scenario in the shipping market has changed dramatically in the last years, from a traditional bank investments system to a private equity fund investments, which has produced, as I said before, a great number of new ships being ordered and delivered. Talking about EcoShip a little, the opinion of the market are very different. There are, of course, the pro-EcoShips owners It's a pity that Emanuele Lauro could not be here tonight because he's a great supporter of this one, as everybody knows. But there are also some people which believe that second-hand vessels, properly refitted or managed or operated or selected, may be a valuable option. And there are certainly a certain number of factors which may guide this choice. First of all, the new building prices, but also the second-hand prices. The actual fuel saving, because we have to consider that the vessel is going to be operated in the next 25 years. We are not buying a vessel which is going to be operated for a short time, but for a long time. So the availability of good second-hand resale is a factor. The fact that the market in the next 20 years may change and may require not low steaming, but perhaps higher steaming, and probably some of the new ships of today, they might be optimized for a certain type of speed, because the hull optimization has created a great consumption, a great saving in that speed, but they might not be the same efficient at other speeds. So these are some of the factors that may guide the choice between investing in new ships or refitting second-hand or using exactly going on the second-hand market. What is clear is that at a certain speed, new eco ship provide a decent fuel saving. This is just a case that we had in our class, and it's a 40,000 deadweight product tanker. Actually, there are two vessels of the same owner. One built 2006, delivered 2006, and the other one is delivered basically last year. The save per day of the ship is 7.4 tons per day. It's a real case. It's not just a statistic. And well, 7.4 tons per day is a lot. It's a little more than what Umberto says, but okay, we are in the same range more or less. Something like $3,000 per day, something like that. Put it that way. And of course, at this speed, 14.4 knots, it's an actual added value. But of course, there are some factors which may make this saving not that effective in other conditions. And then, of course, we have to look at the regulatory factors, which are very stringent. There is an agenda of IMO, of US Coast Guard, of European community, which is very stringent and will be more and more stringent in the next year. So there will be a continuous request of new systems which reduce emission, which save fuel, etc., etc. So when we think about investing, we also need to think about this type of regulation that has to be complied. Some of them, of course, are needed only for new ships, but others are also requested for existing ships. And it's also interesting to know what the owner that are investing today are doing in order to comply with this regulation, because some of the vessels under construction now don't have all these equipments already fitted on board. We have heard today before about the pros and cons of using scrubber instead of marine gas oil, etc., etc. But it is a big cost both for new ships and also for retrofitting. And then, considering the compliance with the regulatory aspects, LNG seems to be the perfect solution. But we have seen that there are a lot of problems from the regulation, from the logistics scenario, which do not allow today availability of LNG, some financial issues. Technical solutions are available, it's clear. We have heard from Wärtsilä and other makers that there is no problem on that. However, the LNG has not taken off yet, and we were willing to hear some of the panelists about their opinion on LNG. To conclude this small introduction of the session, I want to mention a sentence of Mark Johnson, who says that the key to success in the risk-return game is not to minimize or maximize the risk, but to be able to manage it. And so, at this stage, I think I would like to just open the floor. Thank you very much.